Hello, and welcome to another edition of Marlborough Cares. Today we're here to talk about the new dental clinic in Marlborough. And today my guests are Mrs. Ann May from, she's the school health coordinator for the Marlborough Public Schools, and Chris Duane from the for the Boys and Girls Club Metro West. I knew I was going to mess that up. But welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roz.
Okay, why don't we start? Okay, why don't you guys talk about where you're from? Chris, why don't you start?
Well, I'm with and you just started to say it, Marlborough Boys and
I
Girls
know.
Club, and we were talking about it
I'm
before.
Italian, so what can I say?
And you said to me, did I grow up in Marlborough? And I said no, and that's part of why I might be able to throw that name out automatically, but it's Boys and Girls Club Metro West.
Yes.
We've known each other for 10,
Yeah.
11 years. I've been out in Marlborough. I came out in '94, started with Girls Inc. way back then, and we merged shortly thereafter with Boys and Girls Club, so I basically say most of my time out here has been spent with Boys and Girls Clubs. And I think one of your sons has been with us for the 11 years, and now he's
Yes.
working for us.
Yeah.
So I'm with the Boys and Girls Club, and you know, if we have a chance at the end, if we can talk a little bit about what's going on there, that'd be great, but we'll talk about the dental center.
Okay. Mrs. May?
I've been working as a school nurse since 1986 for the Marlborough Public Schools. I'm also the school nurse coordinator. I basically work at the District Education Center, at the Early Childhood Center there, in addition to coordinating the school nurse activities.
But what is your real long title?
Yeah,
What's the real one?
We want to hear
School Health Services Coordinator, Pre-K to 12.
it. Okay.
Okay?
As long as we don't have to put that on paper.
Right.
Okay, why don't we start, why don't we talk about how the dental clinic came to be?
All
From
right.
the beginning.
In the beginning, about 5 years ago, members of the community, which included representatives from Marlborough Hospital, Marlborough Public Schools, the Boys and Girls Club, Hudson Public Schools, the Council on Aging, and Head Start met because we found that there was an unmet need for dental health in the community. So we met trying to brainstorm and see what we could come up with to provide some services. As a result of that, the Ronald McDonald Care Mobile started coming to the schools, and it would come 3 to 4 times a year. And on the Care Mobile, the children would get physical exams, they could get immunizations, lab work, and they would also get a dental cleaning and fluoride treatment. Dr. Rebecca Paglia would go into the schools prior to the visit to check the students that were going to the dental part of the Ronald McDonald Care Mobile, and as long as she said it was okay, the students could get dental sealants as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So
That's
that was
important.
it was.
That's huge.
The thing is, you want to prevent further decay of students' teeth. So it was a valuable service which we utilized. Then after that, in 2002, under the direction of Dr. Porras, many dental volunteers, including dentists, hygienists, and assistants, would come in and we would do screenings in the elementary schools, and also we did some high school students and middle school students. And then through the generosity of the dentists, they volunteered to do so many patients and give them care at a free or reduced rate. But we still felt we were not meeting the needs of all of the people who are underserved in the community.
I think it's important. I want to interject real quick. It's
Sure.
important for people to know exactly how important that is. There are so many people out there without health insurance and dental insurance, you know, let alone dental insurance. They don't have health insurance. And sealants are a huge preventative for these children. So that is huge, and I can't say enough about the dentists that went in and did that.
Well, particularly since they volunteered their time.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was all volunteer, right?
It was all volunteer, and we're very grateful to the dental community of Marlborough for their generosity.
Yeah, because even some of the Mass Health doesn't cover everything for dental.
Right, and with Mass Health, even though some of the students may have Mass Health, I think the statistics are a third of them don't utilize it because it is, like in Marlborough, there was only one dentist who accepted Mass Health, so there would be a long wait to get an appointment. Some of the parents were working
Yeah.
and couldn't afford to give up their hourly rate of pay to take their child to the dentist, so they went without dental care. So we felt there was still a big unmet need for the young children.
Yeah.
So we kept brainstorming and meeting and through the collaboration, it came down to the Boys and Girls Club, representatives from the hospital, the Council on Aging and the public schools, and the dental community, under the direction of Dr. Joseph Porras, that we were able to finally get the dental center at the Boys and Girls
See,
Club.
now I have to interject. They came into our building, and they wanted us to get involved because originally they were looking to put something permanent in the schools, but of
Right.
course, there's no space.
Yeah, oh
You know,
goodness.
they're using every inch of
Inch.
space for classrooms and education stuff. So they came into the building. Now, probably the first 6 months, I thought it was Dr. Porras and the dental community who wanted this permanent space for the dental center. But then after 6 months, I found out this is the one who brought it to the table with all of these people and said, we need to do this. So it was actually Mrs. May
Yeah,
who
I know.
brought it in. So
When,
she won't take credit for it.
when I, when they told me that it was opening, I was like, wow, because I was at one of those meetings 5 years ago, and it was just in the talking stages. And you need to take credit for all the hoops you had to jump through to get this done, because you had to get funding from the state and the federal government, and anybody knows, you have to jump through hoops
Right.
to get that kind of funding.
Well, also, I mean, you see the kids in school, they were going through the screenings, and that's where you noticed how many kids were not receiving the dental,
Right.
or did not have.
Access to dental care. And even though we could sign them up for Mass Health, they still were not accessing
Yeah.
the care, and they needed it. So the school nurses right across the board all saw this dramatic need for dental care.
And is that first or second graders who still had not been to a dentist ever, right?
Many of them, you know, and some of it was that they came from different areas of the world where people did not think it was necessary to take care of the baby teeth. They just said they're gonna fall out, so we'll take care of their secondary teeth when
That is
they
not
came
so.
in. No, no, you really
No.
have to start very young, you know.
So they ended up on our doorstep.
And we're very glad that we did, because we have a nice home at the Boys and Girls Clubs now.
They walked into our building, and it was Pam Kane from when she was over at the hospital. It was Ann, and it was Dr. Porras, and they walked in. I don't know if Dr. Pagliar was with you
No,
at that
I
time.
don't think so.
And we were looking around for space for this to happen, and they sort of presented the concept. Now, number one, we had to think about how this concept might fit in with the mission of Boys and Girls Clubs. And then secondly, it's like, where do we fit this in the building, because we need every space for the kids as well. They're the only group that ever came in and that was all excited about seeing this space that certainly did not look like a dental center. And the first space we won't even discuss, but even where it ended up was an old kitchen where half of the equipment in the kitchen did not work. It looked like, I mean, the vision, it's good they had the vision, because I couldn't see it. Couldn't see it at all. But they came in, they were all excited about the space, and then it was a matter of, we needed to make sure that it fit in with our mission and what we do. And if you take a look at it, Boys and Girls Clubs of America, over 3,000 clubs across the country, has also partnered with Crest Cavity, because oral health is an issue nationwide with kids. And there are 5 Crest Cavity, they have built dental centers in 5 clubs across the country. Now there's 3,000, there's only 5 dental centers in the clubs, but at least we knew that we were on the right path, and that this was a great concept that we could build in with our mission and work with this group, and it's been easy. I shouldn't say it's been easy, it's been a great group to work with.
Yeah.
So.
I think from the time that we saw the room, we did not anticipate all of the paperwork and regulations that we were going to have to follow. We thought once we rehabbed the room and got the equipment in there, we'd be able to put up the shingle and be open for business very quickly.
Oh, we'd be all set.
But there are a lot of regulations that we had to follow, not only in architecturally, but also in the licensing process. We also had to become a not-for-profit corporation, so that took some time to get all that paperwork.
You know how that
And,
goes.
and those are things that we did not anticipate in the beginning. We thought once we had the room, we would be up and running fairly quickly.
And I think you were involved in the conversations, oh, we'll be up and running in 6 months, and we
Yeah.
just need to do, oh, we'll get this done and this done, we'll be all set and ready to go.
Yes.
2 years later, was it 2?
Yeah, it's a lot
was
of
too-
paperwork. It's
Right.
And it's tedious, and sticky. The fact
Yes.
that you stuck to it is just huge for this community. And
Well,
we're
the
so
best-
grateful.
The best part is, it's all, and you know, we keep saying this over and over, it's all volunteer, the groups that came together
Absolutely, yes.
to make this happen. So, I mean, that's huge, because everybody, and the reason is because everybody believes in this. It is not an idea that, oh, it's a great idea, let's do it. This is a need, and everybody believes that this needs to happen.
Which is, this community always meets the need
Well,
when it's met, when it's brought to their attention. I have to say that about Marlborough. But who is, why don't you name some of the players? Who's on your board? And then we can talk about how we access, how somebody can access a dental clinic. And do you take insurance or don't you take insurance, that sort of thing.
Okay. Dr. Porras, Joseph Porras is the volunteer clinical director. Chris is the treasurer. PM Kane is the secretary.
you're the
Janice,
president, aren't you?
yes. Janice Long represents the Council on Aging. Dr. Rebecca Paglia is a member of the board. Dr. Gigi Chamberlain, John Petrin, the former assistant superintendent of schools in Marlborough,
Who's now the
town
Town
manager in Ashland.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see,
Rosalind Baker.
Rosalind
yeah.
Baker,
Department of Human Services.
Services.
Okay, so how does somebody access this clinic?
The clinic is open in the afternoons, 3 afternoons at the present time. And you can call the dental center, and the number is 508-229-3131.
Beautiful.
We have a lovely multilingual receptionist there, Maria, so she will be glad to set up appointments.
Okay.
Okay, we do accept Mass Health.
Okay.
Through our screenings this year, we found that there is another group of people who don't health, but they don't have dental insurance. So our big focus this year will be trying to get more donations to meet the needs of those children.
It's amazing. They're like the in-between.
Yeah, that's,
They can't afford the dental, or they don't have dental insurance, but they don't quite qualify for
Yeah.
the Mass Health. And that's the real tough group to be able to meet their needs, because, you know, they don't qualify for one or the other.
yeah, yeah.
So that's tough.
Then there's the group that may have limited dental insurance, but can't afford, say, the sealants, you know, the copay for the sealants, depending
Right.
on what their insurance is.
Right.
And the big piece is that every family is taken on an individual basis. So it is always worth the phone call to find out what can be accessed and how it can be accessed, because each family is worked through. What I have seen so far, now we did a group in June,
Yes.
a screening in June. I haven't seen anybody get turned away yet. So everybody that came in, somehow, some way, their needs have been met.
Yeah.
So that's the way to look at it. You know, nobody should not call. They should always call and find out where they fit and how they can access the system.
So the initial screening, if there's a lot of problems, if somebody has a lot of problems, what then, can be taken care of at the dental center, or do you refer them out to other dentists, or?
It would be done on an individual basis, depending on the type of care they needed.
Okay.
If they just would need a cleaning and sealants, that would be done right at the dental center. It's mainly a preventive
Yes.
dental center. And then we also have a lot of educational videos for the kids who are they're all age appropriate, and the children really seem to enjoy them.
Yeah. And the center is state-of-the-art.
It is.
I saw it.
Yeah.
It's state-of-the-art.
My answer to that
Unbelievable.
is it's the best room in the house. I mean, it is everything in there. And they do the x-rays, and it's the modern,
Yes.
however they do.
Yes. I
Right.
think one dentist said his office doesn't even have.
Yes,
Exactly.
right. We've had
Exactly.
several dentists tell us that.
Yeah.
So
I
we've
mean,
been very
it's
fortunate.
Very, very
absolutely
fortunate.
state of the art.
Mhm.
And I am so pleased that it came to fruition because I remember when it was just a concept.
Right.
So-
Well, and if you looked at the space beforehand and what
Yeah.
it looks like now,
Yeah.
it is unbelievable. The other piece, which is really, really important, is, we've had to, go through the state guidelines, follow state guidelines, so it's all, all certifications and everything are in place. But the big piece that's really important are the two foundations that have primarily funded, because they believe in this concept. And the Oral Health Foundation, they came on board back when it was a concept. And they came on board and said you should submit something. So the group submitted a proposal, and they ended up funding it for 3 years. They believed in the concept, and they walked through, and again, we thought in the beginning it was going to be a 6-month, and we'd be up and running. But they have believed in it so strongly that they've stayed with all of the delays and everything. They never wavered on. As a matter of fact, we ended up with more than we originally applied for because of how much they believed in the concept. And then the other foundation, the Metro West Health Foundation, they jumped on board, is it 2 or 3 year funding?
It's a 2-year funding.
2-year funding, so that they could help get the clinic up and running and moving forward. So, I mean, that's huge, because they believe, again, and we know, statistics show that there is an oral health issue across the country with kids.
Yeah.
So,
And you had to write proposals. Who wrote the proposals?
we all kind of put it together.
Yeah.
When it did get to because coming from a nonprofit, I could put the input in there of how it needs to be formulated and how it needs to be formatted. When it came to the technical part, we turned to Ann and Dr. Porras, because obviously they know the technical terms that need to go in there. So it was still.
It was truly a collaborative effort.
Yeah. And again,
We each had our own little specialty, and then we sat down and put it all together. It's the same when we have to write the reports to these foundations. We sit together, we each submit our own part, sit
That's
together,
right.
and
And then
put in one document.
and again, that's all volunteer hours.
Unless you would like to take over that piece.
I'm
If you
good,
would, we'd be
Chris.
happy to put it
Chris, I'm good.
forward and right down here. We'll let you know when they need to be in, and
Okay.
We
I
also
think- I
got
think you guys can do that.
we also got a grant from the Mass Dental Society,
Okay.
yes.
which was very helpful in the beginning stages.
Well, that is absolutely wonderful, and again, I'm all how you put this all together. It was a lot of work, and again, anybody who's written a proposal to any kind of government entity understands how much work that actually is. That's not something you sit down and do in a day.
No.
It takes weeks. So, I mean, it's just absolutely wonderful. Okay, before we go, I want to talk a little bit about the Boys and Girls Club.
Sure.
Take a few minutes on Boys and
Yes,
Girls Club?
wanna
Sure, would
kinda
love to.
Switch gears, that we don't have to drag Chris back for another whole show.
We'll give her the last 3 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, why don't we talk about the Boys and Girls Club, what you're doing, what's, the programs that you're running this fall.
This fall, well, we're winding down on our summer programs,
Mm-hmm.
so we've had a great summer,
Which
a
could
very
do with
successful
capacity,
summer.
right? You were full.
Full of capacity, waiting lists. I think the most successful, of course, was our technology camp this summer. It's a specialized camp that works with the kids. It's a small number of kids, but they work with the Lego robotics, and they're creating newsletters and doing web design. And there was a girls only week, and this year it was full with a waiting list, which was really nice. So it's been very successful with our tech summer program. So now we're rolling into the fall, gearing up. Programs open, I believe it is the Wednesday after Labor Day,
Okay.
if I am correct. But it's worth looking at the fall brochure is out, so it's worth people calling and asking for the information so that they get it correct. So we're open Monday through Friday. 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. because there's the morning happy hours preschool program, which is nationally accredited, and then the after-school programs, and then the evening programs for teens. So it's actually 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then on Saturdays, we have the special programs, and in the fall, it's flag football. So I know that that is a separate registration from just the membership. Annual membership is $25 for the year, and with that, kids have access to everything that is happening after school and into the evenings. So it's worth parents coming down and taking a look and talking to staff and finding out what's available and what's going on. We have expanded up to the 3rd floor because of the number of kids. Last year we ended up, by the end of, I believe it was March, we hit an all-time high where we had over 300 kids in the after-school program.
A lot of kids.
That is separate from what's happening at Countryside Village, Richer School, and Happy Hours Preschool. So totally separate from that. And so they ended up expanding to the 3rd floor. And right next to the dental center, they have their learning center. So that's where all the homework and the education programs happen, which actually works out well because we do a crest cavity prevention fun program with the kids, which ties right into the dental center. We ended up rewiring our PA system, which is going to help with the dental clinic as well, because on the 3rd floor and all the way through, we can announce from the 1st floor if there are kids that are attending the after-school program and they're going to attend the dental clinic after school for a screening or if they need any work done, we can announce them in the building. They'll hear their name wherever they are, and they can go right up to the dental center, have their work done or whatever's happening, and then go back to what they were doing. So it works out well.
Yeah, so you have the drop-in center,
Yes.
which is everything. I mean, there's a games room, a gym, you have the computer room, arts and crafts room. Now, 300 kids may sound like a lot to some people, but it is, I can say, organized, extremely organized. There's kids everywhere, but they always have there's always a staff making sure they're doing something. They're not hanging around in the hallway. There's always a staff to make sure they're doing something.
Well, and again, when you get to Boys and Girls Club, you know, the brochure tells what's going on. But most importantly, it's important for parents to know who the staff are. And if you've been involved with the Boys and Girls Club and you walk through that door and you see Margaret, or you see Lynn, who's that first face that you see, and if there are kids that are in the hallway that shouldn't be, they're the ones that make sure that they're off engaged in some activities. So yes, 300 kids sounds like a lot. But the way that they have kids engaged in activities, and there is so much going on, and you know this from being a parent, but there is so much going on that kids can get involved in, that their free time is fun time. And most importantly, and particularly with school, I mean, kids, if they're coming directly to us from school, then that means that they don't get home until 6 or 7 o'clock at night, which means that if they waited until they got home to do their homework, then they're eating dinner at 6, doing their homework at 7, bath time at 8. They have no free time at home. So when they come to us, if we can really push, and there's an average of 70 kids that are coming in and out of the learning center each and every afternoon, if we can push these kids to get their homework done and do it while they're with us, then parents don't need to worry about that.
And I don't know if they do it on a regular basis, but I know when I would call and say, can you make sure Christian's in the homework room? He would be in the homework room. He would try not to go. I would say that. He did try not to go. However, they would seek him out. I don't know if I shouldn't know if I should be saying that because I don't want your staff having run around trying to get kids in the homework room. But they did do that.
Yeah, they really encourage and they push. And the other piece is that they make it fun.
Yeah.
So, you know, it may be a push in some instances to get kids to go into the homework room, but because of the staff that's in there, they make it fun. Kids go in and they receive rewards not for achieving A's or getting all A's. They achieve rewards for participation.
Yeah.
So as long as they go in and participate, they're receiving, you know, acknowledgement and rewards for doing that. So that makes a big difference, because we know that we like to be rewarded for doing things.
Yeah, positive reinforcement. And then the games room. I don't know if Jeff still runs that.
Oh, that's Jeff's. I don't think anybody could run a games room. You know Jeff's stupid.
Yes.
Oh
And-
my
and
goodness, that games room is always
I don't know if he was a
full
troublemaker
of
in
kids.
school, but we won't say it on the air whether he was or not.
But he has that room absolutely organized. The kids are always engaged. He's always putting up little plaque or little posters for kids.
Right.
You know, saying they did this great, doing that great. It's just wonderful. And it just, when you first walk in as a parent, there's kids everywhere. You're like, whoa. But if you walk through, talk to the staff, you will see that it's organized chaos, and it's wonderful. The gym is always full. The games are organized in the gym. The staff are right on top of things. It's a wonderful environment.
Well, it's funny because the games room, and we do call it organized chaos, and nobody can run a games room like Jeff does. But if you stood there for 10, 15 minutes, what you realize is there's a schedule. And there's a certain area, this is where the kids are eating their snacks, and they finish up their snacks, and they clean up
Yeah.
when they're done.
Yeah, they don't do that at home. Okay? Mine
don't
don't
know
do
how-
that at home, so.
Well, they do it at the Boys and Girls
Yeah,
Club.
I've seen them do it.
But then what happens is it's scheduled, and there are tournaments that are happening. And it's funny because this is the area, the games room is where social development happens with kids. They learn how to get along with others, they learn how to take turns, they learn how to win and lose graciously, and they learn how to participate. Whether they are good at something or not, participation is huge. So all of this social development is happening in the games room. And you know, you look at a simple game of foosball. Doesn't seem like much. 2 kids playing a game of foosball. By the end of when he's done it for 10 weeks, being Jeff, this is World Cup foosball.
Yeah.
And this is, the foosball tables get taken into the gym for the finals, where you have 50 kids on the outside cheering on World Cup foosball. I mean, it's amazing what they do with a very simple, or paper football. And I don't know if kids still do it today, but we used to play it in school.
Yeah.
You get the little piece. It turned into, you know, the NFL, and you're from, you know, whoever, and it's the playoffs, and it's just turned into a very huge event, and everything is made important for
Yes.
these kids. So,
Simple as that, as football, paper football. They
And-
can make fun. I mean, it's just absolutely unbelievable.
and it was funny because like Ann May and Dr. Porras would first come in, and they would see what's happening. They're like, boy, how do we get these kids involved, and what's going on here? By the end, they understand what's going on, they can see what's going on, and it's all, you know, let's do it here.
Yeah.
So they jumped on board pretty quick.
The technology center, also the computer lab, is always is bustling all the time as well, I noticed. And it's come a long way.
Well, it's bustling, but it's the quietest room in the house.
Yeah.
It's amazing how
Yeah.
quiet it is in there. But there's always lines to get in, and
Yeah.
we have to really be very careful how we schedule it so that everybody can get access.
I'm not going to say how long ago, but I was the head counselor at Tech Camp one year.
Yes, you were. Yes, you
And
were.
the computers I had were nothing like what you have now.
They
So,
have,
but
well, that's, and of course, that's Hewlett Packard.
Yes.
And they have refurbished the tech center, and it was last year was the latest refurbish, and I mean, it's better equipment than I have in my office, and I'm sure probably in your office.
yeah, oh yeah. But, yeah, it's just wonderful. So but, we got to wrap up. But I want to thank you guys for coming. We're going to put up the dental center number for everybody, so everybody knows where it is, and it's at the Boys and Girls Club. And I want to thank you all for joining us for another edition of Marlborough Cares.